friends, welcome. This is a practice for the transition toward summer. If you're practicing live, we've just passed the summer solstice, our sort of threshold of summer. And in general, we want to have a more cooling, grounding, less energetic practice in summer. But for this moment, this sort of transition moment, I thought it might be helpful to practice some shapes that are a little more energizing to sort of prepare us for this season, to move into the expansive, mobile, active, heating time of summer. So that's what we're going to play with today, just in terms of the shapes themselves. We'll still have our sort of hatha practice that is focused on steadiness, fluid breath, fluid movement, even within the sort of longer holds of shapes. So that's kind of what I'm up to. The intention behind what I'm offering for you is just to ease our transition into this time. As always, you are here for your own reasons. I invite you to practice in accordance with your own intentions, to practice in that way that supports you, nourishes you, allows you to be the way you want to be in the world. Yeah. So we'll begin with a few moments of resonance before we move, and we'll end that way too. Today with the Gayatri Mantra, which I've shared lots of times before. It's one of my favorites. But it is one of the mantra that's really not connected to a specific divine energy, a specific deity, I should say, but more toward the sun, toward the light. So that's what I'm offering today. Invite you to join, to amplify this resonance, the sound of Om together. whatever shape you're in, find a full breath in and breath out. And toward Om, a breath in. Let that resonance continue to move through in your awareness. We're coming toward a seat, and if you are seated on your seat, it might be helpful to elevate a little bit on a block or a folded blanket. You could also sit on your shins. But as you find your seat, just find a little bit of movement, right? Like some swirls, some stretches, roll your shoulders, roll your head, like whatever your body is calling for. We'll move together in a moment, but first just this freedom, a moment of connection, to connect intention and movement. Yeah. Quiet whatever movement you're working with in this moment. Feel yourself sort of draw toward center, whatever feels like your center. And then let energy expand from there. So you feel yourself rooting down and expanding up and out, but from this place of center. Breathe in, fill your lungs. Clear out, returning to center. And let your right hand rest on your thigh or your fingertips to the earth as you reach your left arm tall. Find that breath to lengthen, drawing towards center, up and out, and then reach up and over to the right. Take an inhale to roll your left ribs back, to feel yourself opening up. And then begin to turn your heart more toward the floor. Round your spine a bit as you fold forward. Any amount, just let yourself kind of come towards center. Roll back up along your spine. Let your left hand root to your thigh or to the floor as you reach your right arm tall. Take a moment of length first, and then keep that length as much as you can as you reach up and over to the left. So keeping the length on the left side of your body and between your left shoulder, left ear. Roll your right ribs back. And then turning your heart a little more toward the floor, round inward. Hands toward the earth, fingertips toward the earth. Roll back up. And then arrange yourself so that your right leg goes out to the right now. So for me, I'm going to take the support out from underneath me. You may or may not feel ready to do that in this shape. But your right leg goes straight out to the right-ish. And your belly button is sort of over facing your left shin that's tucked in. And we'll find the same kind of shape. So first, even out your butt, even out your hips down into the earth. Reach your left arm tall, and then reach up and over to the right. So your right hand again could be on your thigh or to the earth. Roll your left ribs back, draw your right ribs under, breathe long into both sides, all sides of your torso. Then allow your heart to point down, down-ish, to follow. Really walk your hands across your mat, all the way over to the left. Bring your left hand behind your left hip. And then push down through your left shin. You'll start to lift your hips any amount. Reaching your right arm along your ear. Push down through your left hand and left shin. Really reach up through the right side of your body. Sort of a counter stretch to where we were a moment ago. And then let your hips come back down. Let your fingertips come back down. And we'll just switch to the other side. So draw your right heel in, your left heel out to the left. Settle first to sort of feel your pelvis even on the earth, that grounding moment. Reach your right fingertips tall. And then reach up and over to the left. So again, the left side stays just as long as the right. Roll your right ribs back and lengthen out. Then allow your heart to turn down toward the earth a little bit more. Let both hands walk. Keep stretching out long as you can as they walk over to the right. Bring your right hand behind you, behind your right hip. Push down into it. Push down through your right shin to lift your hips. Your left arm along your left ear. And find a long breath. Lift your hips. Lift up through your left side specifically. And then let that come back down to earth. Release your fingertips back down to earth. And then turn toward the front of your mat, so toward your right leg, I think, for most of us. Press through your hands and step back toward downward facing dog. So we've done a little more opening on the sides of the torso rather than front and the back as we usually would. So I'm kind of moving toward that now. From here, root into the earth. Push through your hands to lengthen. But we still have this sort of gathering towards center, a hug in towards center. Not in this case to build heat, but to focus on steadiness. The part of you that's steady. From that center, let it expand as you inhale. And exhale, steady. Soften your knees. Let your hips drop back a little extra. Exhale, wave forward toward plank. Hug in through your arm bones. Bring your knees down. But keep pulling your heart forward. So it's not quite a tabletop, right? We're a little bit elongated. Then begin to roll down like chaturanga. So your elbows go straight back. We're coming all the way down to the earth. Knees, chest, and chin. And eventually your hips to the earth. Then flip the tops of your feet to the earth. You could pull your heart forward toward cobra pose, bhujangasana. Take an extra breath here. Root back through your elbows, back through your feet, forward through the heart space. We're really lengthening out. And then push through your hands to draw back toward a tabletop shape. Tuck your toes and lift back, downward facing dog. So a full body breath in. And breath out. One more just like that, and then we'll move a little more toward stillness and steadiness, yeah. But first, soften your knees, push through your hands, draw back through the sides of your body and through your hips. And before we come forward, roll your heels to the right and your toes to the left. So another stretch along your left side. Push through both hands. And then inhale back through center. Exhale your heels to the left, your toes to the right. Come back through center. Soften your knees again, pull back through your hips. And then wave forward toward plank one more time. Hug in, bend your knees to the earth, but keep elongating through your spine. Heart forward as you bend your elbows and come down to the earth. Toward cobra pose, root through your hips, pull your heart forward. And then push through hands and feet to come back through table or plank if you're into that, if you're really heating up. And back to downward facing dog. Full body breath in, breath out. Hug toward center, lift through your hips until your heels lift. And then begin to walk your feet forward toward your hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. And the same energy of that cobra pose that we're drawing strength towards center, up through the legs. And then extend your heart forward, unfurl your spine, inhale. Exhale to fold. Same feeling, push through your feet, extend from center, but this time come all the way to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching tall. Hook your thumbs overhead so that your fingers are kind of reaching out in all directions, sort of shine out like sun rays, not to sound too much like, kids yoga, but sometimes it's fun. Root down through your feet, reach up through those rays, and then up and over to the right. Ardha Chandrasana is a half moon shape, but it's also really energizing up through the left side. Breath in, rolling your left ribs back, breath out. Push through your feet, come back through center, and then up and over to the left. Full body breath in, breath out. Rolling back through your right ribs, reach long, breath out. Back through center, reach tall. And settle your hips back toward a chair pose, Utkatasana. So again, root down into the earth and gather strength up to center and lengthen, extend from there. Hug in through your arm bones, in through your legs, but down through your hips. Full body breath in, breath out. Push through your feet to stand, reach tall, or maybe up and back a little. And then we'll pour forward to fold. Shift your weight left and step your right toes to the back of the mat. Bring your back knee down. Hug in to do so. Yeah. Press through your right hand and sweep your left arm forward and up. So we're coming to this rotation again. This rolling back of the left ribs. Could even imagine like you're pushing your left palm into support, like leverage to open up even more. Draw your arm bones back from your ears. Keep this rotation. Keep the left leg strong. Both legs hug in, but tuck your toes behind you to lift your back knee. Press your back thigh up toward the ceiling. And double check the revolution of your rib cage. Don't let your left arm get behind you. Yeah, let it stay aligned. Full body breath here. Extend through your spine. Keep that, but begin to turn all of your toes to the left. So we're, again, in this sort of side bend. This is a variation of Vashisthasana, of side plank. So you can feel that big arch shape in your left side, but we have this sort of kickstand support of the left leg. Roll your left ribs back, lengthen, push through your right heel, that's the back one, and pull forward through your crown of breath in. Your choice to stay here. If you want a little movement, you can drop your right hip down, reach your left hand toward the back of the mat. Big stretch on your right side here. And then reach back up. Stay strong here, or you could step back to side plank, but it's a little early. Or again, drop your right hip down, rolling your left ribs back, and reach back up. Full body breath in. Reach your left arm over your left ear. Then turn back to the front of the mat and bring both hands inside your left leg. So if it hasn't already migrated, you might heel toe your left foot a little bit out to the left. So you've got space enough for your rib cage, for your shoulders inside your left leg. Inhale here to lengthen and press your back thigh up into the ceiling. Extend your crown forward. Pause here, hugging towards center, even within the length. Stay with the length, but begin to lift your hips back to extend your left leg. A variation on pyramid, so your back heel is still lifted. For the moment, find a breath in, a breath out. You might even feel a sense of that sort of halfway lift or cobra pose, that lift from your belly that extends your spine further. Fold down. Breathe. Rebend the left leg, the back leg stays strong. But now spin your back heel down. That back thigh still presses up toward the ceiling. Yeah. even as your back heel pushes down to the earth. Keep this hug in through the legs, pulling your left outer thigh back. Push through both feet to rise warrior one. Reach forward and up. And again, we're seeking this balance of rooting down, but also pushing into the earth to reach up. I find it helpful sometimes to take that, again, interlocking of the thumbs, to feel your fingers really reach out like rays. Your elbows are sort of drawing outward and making space to breathe. The full of your lungs, at the back of your lungs, fill up. And then keep your front ribs closed as you root down and exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Keep pushing down through your feet. Reach a little taller. And then hinge forward. You could keep reaching forward or bring hands to heart center. But pull your left hip back, your crown forward, that hug towards center. Pull more weight forward till your back heel lifts. Then your right knee toward your chest. Slow and steady, stand up. Feel a hug between your right thigh and your rib cage. Root down through your left foot and up through the rest of your left side. Then swim your right arm back to twist. So we're again sort of engaging and lengthening on the sides of your torso. And engage at the center a little too. That might even help with balance. Physically or in your mind, press your left hand and your right thigh into each other as you rotate this last 2 breaths here. And then keep the rotation, but rebend, we're bending both knees now. Replace your right foot toward a revolved chair pose. Both shins, especially the right one, push forward. Draw your hips back and sit down. Breathe in. Shoulders relax, exhale. Push through both feet to stand up, reach tall. Interlace your thumbs. Push down through your feet, lift up through the center. Come to the left first this time, up and over, rolling your right ribs back. Just a breath here. Breathe down through your feet and out through your fingers. And then rise back up through center. Reach up and over to the right. A full body breath as long as you can be. Back through center. And fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Feel a little bit of activity at your center that might pull your heart closer to your legs. And again, that might be invisible, right? It's just that energetic connection. And then shift your weight to the right, push through your right foot, and reach your left toes toward the back of the mat. Feel yourself extend. So there's the hug in through your legs and towards center. But that extension from there, lift the back of your skull, the back of your neck. Bring your back knee down at first, hug in to place it down, but the length stays. Left fingers stay rooted, reach your right arm forward and up, rotation. Pull your arm bones back and away from your ears. Push through your right foot down into the earth. Again, that sort of imaginary leverage, so your right palm rotating open. Then once you find that steadiness at center, keep rooted through your hand and especially through your left fingers. Yeah, that takes a little pressure out of your wrist. Tuck your toes behind you, press your back thigh up into the ceiling to lift your back knee. Hug in towards center, expand from there. Let that stay. Turn all your toes to the right. push through both feet. So through the bottom of your right foot and sort of the knife edge of your left foot. Push through the bottom of your left foot as well. Rotate open. Your right side is sort of lifting up like it's magnetized toward the sky. Stay here or drop your hips low, reaching your right arm back. So you're staying open. Lift up again. Again, you could stay or reach back. Keep your left leg, the long leg, really engaged here. Reach up. Reach your right arm long by your ear. Keep rolling your right ribs back. Inhale. Bring both hands down to earth, turning your toes toward the front of the mat. And if it hasn't migrated already, walk your right foot a little to the right. But there's a thing that happens where this left hip might start to sink down toward the earth. Try to keep it buoyant even with the right. Hug towards center. Find that lift in your belly, that buoyancy. A lift through the back of your heart, the back of your skull. And then lift through your hips to extend your front leg, the right leg. Breathing here. Feel yourself drawing in towards center and expanding from there. When we expand from center, we're sort of dispelling that heat from center, like allowing it to be not so concentrated, but radiating out. Your back thigh is strong. Lunge forward again. Feel the buoyancy at the back of your heart, the back of your legs. Spin your back heel down so that back thigh is still pressing up, even as your heel presses down. Pull back through the outside of your right thigh. Press through both feet to reach forward and up. Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Settle into the earth. Lift through the back of your waist. The back of your lungs could fill up and clear out. Again, if you like, you could hook your thumbs, but extend out through your fingers, through your elbows. Open up to breath. Be a clear channel for breath from the bottoms of your feet up through your palms and up through the crown of your head. Both legs remain strong here. Pulling your right hip back into the socket as you hinge forward. Yet even longer through your left leg and through your right side. So keep rolling your right hip back so the right side stays long. Pour weight forward till that back heel starts to lift. Slow and steady left knee toward your chest. Stand up. Find the hug of center. Then root down through your right foot and up through the rest of your right side. Keep that connection to center as you swim your left arm back to twist. Keep the hug and the expanse of this shape. Again, you might imagine pressing your right hand and your left thigh into each other for that connection at center. Full body breath. Keep the rotation, keep the connection. So you bend both knees, root both feet. Revolve chair pose. Keep rolling your left ribs back. Keep sitting tall. Yeah, full breath here. Push through both feet to rise. Hook your thumbs, reach up, maybe up and back. Both legs strong. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Draw hands toward heart center. And if you're still sort of feeling like you want to be gathering up towards center, keep your palms pressed into each other. If you're wanting to open up and let some heat go, you might let your palms be forward along your sides. In any case, we're here to breathe. To connect to this understanding of yourself as an open channel. Breath can move freely from the earth, through you, up out into the ether. And the other way as well, yeah. Breath moves freely. One more full body breath. Fill up. Let it roll through. And let it clear out. Draw you back to center. Shifting your weight left. Draw your right knee toward your chest. Hug in. Hands to heart center if they're not already. Lift up through your center, through your crown. Then begin to press your right heel back. Extend out in all directions from center. Breathe. Lift through your left thigh, through your left hip to let the right one extend back. Slow and steady, let your right toes touch toward the back of the mat. Reach tall, hug in and up. And then again, swim your left arm back to twist. Hug in, that back thigh presses toward the ceiling. Open up. Keep settling toward the earth and singing up out of it. Stay here or hinge forward in a long line to bring your right arm outside your left thigh. Rolling your left ribs back and open. If that feels steady, you might come forward for a little further to bring hands toward heart center. But if you feel like your hands are by your shoulder and your heart's down toward the floor, it's not worth that shift. Yeah, stay open as long as you need. Also the option to bring your right hand down to the earth if you're needing that extra grounding. Or your right knee to the earth, yeah. I'll show what that looks like too. This option of keeping your right arm to the outside but keeping your back knee down. Wherever you are, roll your left ribs back and lengthen the right side as much as the left. Full body breath, give it one more. Release any binding, reaching your right arm forward. Spin both hands down inside your left leg. Lift your back knee if it's not already, and then spin your back heel down. So your feet are set up for warrior two. We're going to move first toward a side angle. Press down through your left foot, through both feet, but especially the left one, to take the weight out of your hands and bring your left elbow toward your left thigh. Start there. Roll your right ribs back and draw this left arm bone back away from your ear. Draw your left hip crease back and that outer seam of your left leg so there's space to breathe along your left side. Push through both feet. Feel the right side of your body, your right hip, your right ribs, lifted up toward the ceiling. Bringing your right arm toward the ceiling too. Maybe you find that same feeling of pressing into your right palm to roll your right ribs back. Keep drawing your left thigh back into your socket. Pushing through your back heel to press your thigh up toward the ceiling. Again, push through both feet to take the weight out of your left arm. So you could rise toward warrior two. Stay steady and low, but extend out. Draw from steadiness to stay with it, to breathe and expand here. 2 breaths. Spin both hands down to earth. Bring your right knee, that back knee, down to earth as well. Press through your fingers or through your hands to lift through your belly, to lift this left foot, maybe your heel first, then your toes, off the earth, sort of pluck it off the earth, and send your left heel back behind you. Draw up through center, through your belly to lift your back thigh. And then bend your left knee to bring your heel up toward the ceiling. So we're kind of finding a little length in the front of your left thigh that was just doing a lot of work. Yeah. Either stay here, or if you feel steady, reach your right arm toward your left toes and your left toes toward your right fingers. Doesn't matter if you catch your foot or not, you're reaching in that direction. Keep rolling your left ribs back so that the right ribs don't get too far away. Keep strong through the center. Your chin tucked down a little bit so you don't cut off the back of your neck. Take a full breath in. Breath out. Replace your right hand if it's lifted. Replace your left knee. Sit back toward your heels, and it's okay to bring a blanket onto your shins, yeah, so that you'll kind of reduce the angle, or rather broaden the angle between the angle of your knees. But sit tall a moment, draw your tail down, not under, and reach up through your crown. Then begin to tuck your tail under and walk your fingertips back to the earth behind you. So again, we're opening up across the front of the thighs. Draw your elbows, your shoulders back, lift your heart up. Again, your tail under. Stay here or walk your hands flat onto the earth and maybe bend your elbows a little more. So you keep drawing your tail down and extending your heart up and your crown back. Lift through your sternum. Let it be a little taller than your shoulders, than your shoulder points. Last breath here. Slow and steady, begin to walk back up. Your hands in front of you. If you feel a little, sticky in your knees, feel free to extend one leg at a time. But we're coming back through downward facing dog. When you're ready, breath here. The same as so many other shapes when we're standing. Draw in through your front ribs, open up through the back. Take a breath along the back body and clear it out. Lift through your hips till your heels lift. Begin to walk your feet forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Press through your feet to lengthen your spine. Stay here. Bend your knees. Rise toward chair pose. Settle a little. Stay here, or again, hook your thumbs to open yourself up as you draw your belly, your front ribs in. and down. Push through your right foot, draw left knee in toward your chest, hands to heart center. Find that hug toward center and the lift through your right side. Keep that, press your left heel back. Draw up through your right thigh, up through your right hip to extend the left one down and back. Feel yourself gathering towards center, but you're not tightening up, right? You're not clenching at the center, you're expanding from there. Like, don't just draw toward your belly, but toward the center of each of your limbs, the center along your spine and the back of your skull. Slow and steady, bend your right leg, stay lifted through the center, and step your right toes, your left toes back. Arms to the sky, reach up, pressing your back thigh up into the ceiling. And then rotate right arm behind you. Pulling your right thigh bone back, your right shin forward. Your left heel back, your left thigh up into the ceiling. Breathe. Feel long, equally long on both sides, really all sides, but especially the right and left side of your torso. So that's probably drawing the right hip down and back a little bit. Stay open, keep this length as you hinge forward, bringing your left arm outside your right arm. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Push your right thigh into your left arm, and vice versa. Stay here or bring hands toward heart center, but again, only if you could stay open. And you always have the option too of bringing your left elbow right on top of your right thigh instead of outside of it. Or bringing the back knee down, but breathe where you are. In towards center and out from center. Extending what center means, where that steadiness is. Two more breaths where you are. Stay with it. Stay connected and present here. Push through your right foot to sort of unweight your left arm, uncurl. Reach your arms out wide. And then spin both hands down inside your right leg. Feel even through your pelvis. Lift your back knee if it's not. Pressing your left thigh up toward the ceiling. Same here, spin your back heel down. We hug in and down through both feet to take the weight out of your hands. Bring your right elbow toward your right thigh. Roll your left ribs back. Push down and out through your left leg. Forward through your crown. And again, we're engaging and sort of lifting up through this left side. So there's space to breathe on the right side. Stay here or peel your left arm open. Again, that option to imagine pressing your left palm into something to roll your left ribs back. Keep hugging in and down to keep the weight, some weight out of your right arm. Push through both feet, especially the right one, to rise up, warrior two. Woo. Stay rooted. I almost fell over there. Stay rooted and low in your warrior two. Breathe. Keep both legs engaged, hugged in and strong. But be soft enough that there's breath. Don't add in strain or struggle. Don't need it. Bring both hands back down to the mat. Hug in to bend your back knee, touch it down. Draw in through the center, maybe even rounding up through your shoulders a little bit so you could pluck this right foot off the earth. So I'm saying pluck instead of like dragging your right foot along the floor. Yeah. Extend your right heel back. Find that lift through your left thigh, left hip. Push through both hands, lift through the back of your skull, the back of your lungs, back of your waist. And then bend your right knee, pushing your heel up toward the ceiling, and then hug your heel toward your seat. And that might be enough. Or you might push a little extra through your right hand and left shin and reach your left fingers back in that direction, or capturing, trying to keep your ribs more or less steady for this particular day. Right? Sometimes we're really opening up in this shape, but here we're more about the back thigh. Next breath or two, replace your left hand. Replace your right knee. Walk your hips back to your heels. Again, that option to bring a small pillow or a blanket into the crease of your knee, so that your knee doesn't have to be quite so acutely bent. And your hips rooted down, lengthen up through your crown. And once again, walk your hands back to the earth. Draw your tail down and forward. Roll your elbows and shoulders back to lift your heart up. Keep drawing your tail under as you walk your hands flat, maybe. Hug your elbows back, bend your elbows more, maybe. But keep drawing your chin down and along your chest, drawing your ears back. Lifting your heart up through the points of your shoulders. Breathe. Walk yourself back up. Press through your shins to rise up onto your shins. Drawing your hip points forward like they're just magnetized forward. Draw in through the front ribs and up through the back of your heart. Then draw your arms in close to your body, your fingertips forward. Pull your elbows back to bring hands to your sacrum or to your heels or to your thighs. And just as we were a moment ago, except instead of tucking your tail down, just draw it down, your hips forward. Draw your chin back along your chest, your ears draw back toward Ustrasana, camel pose. Keep drawing up toward center, the center of your whole body, not just your belly, but in through your legs, in through your arm bones, in toward your spine, toward the center of your brain. Hug as you expand. And then keep that, but take your attention more toward the expansion, the spaciousness on the front line of your body. Breathe into it. As if you could exhale through the crown of your head and the bottom of your feet. And draw yourself back through center. Sit your hips to your heels a moment. Breathe. Fill up with breath. Clear out whatever's extra. And as you're ready, shift your weight to one side to bring your feet out in front of you. I know we talked about this before, but if extending your feet out makes you right away round in your lumbar spine and in the middle of your back too, if you don't feel like you can tilt your pelvis forward, pour it forward and sit tall, then you might either roll up a blanket or a small pillow just under the very edge of your butt, the very edge of your hips, so that you feel you can sort of ride the edge of it. Pour your pelvis forward. In any case, press through your heels to sit tall through the crown of your head. Pour forward, just like halfway. Keep your hip creases and your butt drawing back. Extend your left arm along your ear. Extend your right arm along your ear. Get longer in your spine. Pull back through your seat, forward through your crown, through your fingers. Then fold forward. Fold forward whatever amount and then support yourself. Yeah. So you might have a block like underneath your forehead or underneath your arms, or some bolster between your chest and your thighs, like whatever you need. So you can feel like there's sensation to this, but not struggle. And if you need to add a little water element, you might find a sway side to side, or a ripple of breath along your spine. But for sure, wherever you are, whatever version of this shape you find yourself in, tune toward deep breath, full body breath. Find space. Notice the space that you have to breathe. Find 3 more breaths here. Release whatever's holding on right now. Whatever's clenching, let it go. And then slow and steady, begin to roll yourself onto your back or toward your seat if that's where you like to finish your practice. Wherever you are going to find stillness, move in that direction. And I want to encourage you today, again, as we're moving toward balancing out the heat of summer, the activity of summer, to move and adjust as little as possible. To settle toward stillness. And rather than actively adjusting yourself around, could you feel yourself just release effort? Release holding. Release your weight to the earth. If you feel like you want a little more ground, you could bring your hands onto your body, to your belly, to your heart space. Or bring a blanket across your hips to give a little weight there. Know in this shape and everywhere else you go that you are connected, supported, and that you are whole and free. On a path toward awareness of that freedom, wholeness, and interconnection. Yoga. We'll come back together in a few moments, but for now, be here at ease. Bhūr bhuvaḥ svaḥ tat savitur vareṇyaṃ bhargo devasya dhīmahi dhiyo na prachodayāt. Begin to notice breath moving through. Notice the support beneath, around, within you. Turn awareness toward resonance. Your breath connected to earth, to all other breath and all places and times. You'll have the opportunity again to amplify that resonance with the sound of Om. You can stay low or climb toward a seat. But this sound connects us to our ancestors in practice. Resonated the same sound in India and Africa across generations toward us, through us, and on to what's next. The sound holds all of it. First, find a breath in. Clear that one out. And then toward Om, a breath in. Let that resonance stay in your awareness. Remain aware of this center where we're connected, where we're the same. It's from here. I bow to you with love, with gratitude as always. Thanks for being here and part of this community. I appreciate you. If you got questions or comments, send them my way. Otherwise, be well. Be good to each other. See you soon. Hey friends, Michelle here. Thanks so much for being here. It means a lot to be able to share this practice and this community with you. If you want to support what we're up to, the easiest way is to like this video, subscribe to our channel, maybe even leave a comment. We love hearing requests and feedback, whatever you want to share with us. If you want to be sharing this practice in real life here in France, we have a retreat coming up in September. We'd love to see you there too. Get all the details at the link in the description. Hope to see you before then. Be well, be good to each other.